Now keep in mind, not everybody's gonna need this stuff, right? This is just tools, just tools. When we go to strength-based structural balance, this is gonna be more like Charles Poliquin style. So Charles, when he was training national team members, took a lot of data and created strength ratios across exercises and across joints. So let's say we have a too big of a gap between front squat and back squat. If you look at not just what Charles taught us back in the day, but also if you look at like weightlifting studies and weightlifting numbers, it's pretty well accepted that you shouldn't have more than about an 85% difference between your front squat and your back squat, okay? If you want to keep things nice and balanced, right? I know a lot of weightlifting coaches that don't want a 10% gap. So it's like, if your back squat is 100 kilos, they want your front squat at 90. And I would probably agree with that. I think people need to be doing a lot more front squatting, and they need to do a lot more of the harder exercises instead of looking for the easiest way out. Or like something like the bench press to maybe some of your scapular movements. If your bench press, if you have really poor like power raise, really poor lower trap raise, it's going to put the brakes on your bench pressing. So eventually either your shoulder's gonna start feeling dodgy, or you're gonna find that your pressing strength is not getting stronger. So if we can clean up some of those gaps, you'll get stronger by default. And I remember when Charles, there's an article in TMAG. If you look up achieving structural balance, Charles wrote an article on this with a lot of the strength ratios in it. And when he brought out the article, a lot of people said he was full of shit because he makes some pretty wild claims. Like he makes some claims in there that one of his athletes, I think it was Adam Nelson or someone, they did the testing and found that he had some strength gaps. They corrected that and didn't bench for 6 weeks. And when he went back to bench, he put 50 pounds on his bench press. And everybody at the time said he was full of shit. And I was like, all right, I'm not gonna say he's full of shit. I'm just gonna try it. And this is when I was a competitive powerlifter and I was benching about, I think at 415, 420 at the time. I got to a point where anything at 385 pounds or above, I would unrack it. And the minute I unlocked my elbows, I'd have excruciating pain in my brachioradialis and in my brachialis, and I would drop the bar and I would catch it and I'd press it back up. So I could press it, but I couldn't lower it. So then I found that achieving structural balance and I went, all right, I'm gonna go do these tests. And that's back in the day when like powerlifters didn't do any type of curls. We were like, it's a waste of time. We didn't do curls, we didn't do cardio. This is before the prowler was even invented. No one did any of this stuff. So I never did any type of elbow flexion. And I'm like, okay, well, this makes sense that my elbows are hurting when I'm trying to flex them. What's going on? I did the strength testing and my reverse curl and my Scott curl were fucking pathetic. I think my Scott curl was supposed to be like 185 pounds and I was doing like 80. And my reverse curl was supposed to be 80 or 90 pounds and I could barely do 30. So I did a 6-week block where I didn't do any barbell pressing. I just hammered elbow flexion, got rid of the pain, and I ended up putting like 10 or 15, maybe 20 pounds on my bench, like just like that without benching. So then I was sold at that point, and that's when I saved up and I went to see Charles in 2007, and that became the journey of why I'm here right now, right?